Hey guys, Ninja Gaming here. I'm Ed.
I'm Josh.
And today we are reviewing Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Now today is going to be a little bit different. We're going to just make this one continuous episode because this is such a huge and broad game. So let's go right into story, shall we? Now, pretty much what the game started off as is you're a prisoner that's about to get executed because there's this huge civil war going on in Skyrim. Well, you're about to get executed when all of a sudden a dragon appears and starts messing shit up. And people are freaking out because dragons haven't been around for like thousands of years. And you escape, and there's so many different things and everything. You find out why this whole civil war is going on, and why are these dragons all of a sudden reappearing. That's pretty much the whole main story of Skyrim.
Yeah.
Is just trying to figure out what's going on. And within the story are certain guilds, which are certain missions. Now, the guilds, there's 4 main ones that are the Dark Brotherhood, the Thieves Guild, the Companion Quests, and the Winterhold College. Companion Quest and Winterhold College are like the Mages Guild and the Fighters Guild. Companions are Fighter Guild, and the College is for Mages. And the one thing that we really liked is that the history that's behind each of the guilds.
A lot of history.
Yes.
Each guild has kind of, not only are there quests that you have to do actively, but a lot of them actually involve things that happened in the past. So this game is very history-oriented, storyline-wise.
Yeah, that's the one thing we really were happy about. And all these guilds, of course, have certain things, such as the Companion Quest is more for all the fighters out there and everything, and the College is more for mages. And then, of course, Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood for rogues. But only like different types, such as the ones that you want to pickpocket someone, or you want to just kill that person silently and not let anyone see it.
Yeah. So stories are great. And overall, stories are great in each of the guilds, or the colleges, whatever.
Yeah.
Some very unexpected things happen.
Yeah, unexpected twist and everything that we just thought was amazing, and it leaves you like saying, "Oh, what?"
So it's cool that a lot of these unexpected things you can actually do, and they actually affect the rest of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Deciding on what you do with it.
Yeah, so. Exactly. And also there's like little sub guilds, you could kind of say. They're small little guilds, but they're still considered guilds in a way, such as the Bard's College, the Temple Quests, and also Blade Quests. There's like 3 or 4 to each of these missions, but that's some new things that they put into the game that's somewhat of a guild. Also Daedric Quests, which we've all known and loved. In Oblivion, is that, you go out, you meet a Daedra, or you see a Daedra and everything like that, and they tell you to do something, and you go do it. You might get a special item out of all of this. So those are the things that are amazing, and they made them 10 times better in this game, by the way. Because, they made a lot of mystical places and everything in this game.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Now with the races in this game, because this is now, you want to add anything more to the guilds and the story?
No, basically, we can't give you too much away on the story. The story is pretty straightforward. It's enjoyable, but if we gave you more, I'd be spoiling it. So
yeah, exactly.
You'd have to play it yourself.
Now, what about the gameplay? Is there anything new with like the races and everything?
No. Overall, races are when you start off in a race, they're kind of biased towards either mage, warrior, or thief, or sometimes 2 out of 3, but that doesn't mean that if you can't change it as you go. I started off as a Breton, which is more biased towards magic, but I am definitely into the warrior stuff. So as you play, it changes. So don't take that into account. Don't worry about how what class specialties you have at the beginning, because you change as you go on. It's such a massive game that you can be really anybody who you want to be.
Yeah.
Skill constellations, it's a little bit different in this game. Is when you go to a skill constellation, they have the perks, and you can unlock in 3 different categories. You have magic, stealth, and combat, and each one has like perks and ranks into it. So if you want to focus on archery, you can up the ranks and the perks in archery, or you can do it for conjuration. You unlock 1
perk every time you level up.
Every level up, it's not that bad. There's a lot of levels up. A lot of times you can level up.
Oh yeah.
Dungeons Dungeons are great.
Oh, they have changed this completely.
I think I heard that they have over 150 unique dungeons.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
If you didn't play Oblivion, that may not sound like a lot, but these dungeons are massive.
No, and yeah, the one thing is, when you see in Oblivion, you would see pretty much the same old dungeon. Like, that's the one thing I've seen.
You play the dungeon over and over again.
That you see the same thing, but different characters, different creatures, different events that are going on in it. But in this one,
I don't think I've played through. How much I've played through, I don't think I've even played through the same dungeon twice.
Yeah, honestly, I do not think I've ever gone into a dungeon saying, "Okay, this is the same exact dungeon."
You'll hit it eventually. But
but that's the one thing that we were amazed, and it always seems like there's something still in there, even though you wipe out everething in there. That's the one.
It's got a lot of good ambient sound.
Yeah, it still has like some life.
Kind of spooky, and it's cool because they're not just caves. They sometimes be fortresses. Or in this case, they go a lot into the Nordic dwarven technology, to where those are really cool and they're more machine-oriented, which is very odd. When I first started playing this game, I thought it was really cool.
Mm.
The game's separated with the fortresses. There's holds throughout the game that are like, I guess, little city-states within the country.
Yeah, little city-states, yeah. That's exactly
and those are pretty cool, and they all have their own main center points, and they're pretty big.
Yeah.
It's definitely a northern continent overall. You'll see a lot of snow and mountains
everywhere.
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
And they're just beautiful to look at.
Oh, yeah. And the cool thing is that that you can go to those mountains. Like, when you see those mountains, you could say, hey, I want to climb up on top of that. And you can.
You can see a mountain off in the distance. It looks amazing, to where you'll actually stop and stare at it for a minute, and then you can actually go climb the mountain in the game. It's not just scenery.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one thing we thought was amazing. That was just like... That's just awesome to me. It makes you seem like you're, really small in the game, like this huge game that you're going into. So yeah, that's the one thing we thought was awesome.
Yeah, they bring back all the good stuff, crafting, enchanting, making your own weapons. You can do blacksmithing. You can go mining in this game.
Yes.
You can do things for money. You can dual wield. You can dual wield spells. Shouts are great. As you go on, you'll learn that the longer you hold down the shout button, the more powerful the spell is, but the longer it usually takes for it to recharge to where you can use it again. You'll learn that as you go on.
Yeah.
You can gain followers.
Yes, there is followers in this game that you can tell them to come and help you out and everything like that. And you get those through certain missions and certain ability, certain things you do in the game, such as there is one quest, and they can die. But there is some point that there is some spells that actually will regain their health, that you can just cast the spell on them and they'll regain health.
You can recharge party members.
So yeah.
But I mean, overall, still same couple classes of mage, warrior, thief. You can go in between a lot of those. You can change it up halfway through the game, whatever you want to do. The shouts are great. It's a great addition. I use them constantly.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I still think the best one was the first one you get. The force, almost like...
I disagree, but I can't tell you which ones I like.
Yeah, exactly. but there's a lot of people would disagree, but I just love sending enemies like flying when you just shout them. So it's just sweet and amazing that you see that.
There are some subclasses, such as vampires and werewolves.
Yes. Werewolves were introduced in Morrowind, and now in the third Elder Scrolls, and now they're back in Skyrim.
They are awesome.
Oh yes, they are awesome. And yeah, we can't go really in too much into
how you get it, but you'll learn that as you go.
Yeah, exactly.
You can now. Don't be afraid if you're playing this game. First of all, I highly recommend getting the guide. But if you're playing the main storyline, you can leave the main storyline whenever you want and come back to it. Don't feel afraid to do that. I was kind of afraid to do that, and then I took that step off and I went off and did things and. I come back to it every once in a while, but I mostly focused on the guilds and stuff for a while.
Yeah.
I would get to the Mages Guild a little bit early if you can. The mountains that you have to get to or go through to get there are kind of difficult, but the earlier you get there, the more advantage you get out of the spells.
Oh, yeah.
Companions Guild is fun. I would get there too. There's some pretty plot-twisting things there. But I would definitely recommend getting a guide. There's some page numbers here we got down for you to bookmark if you just got it but you haven't started playing it, or you plan on getting it and you haven't started playing it, or you're planning on getting the guide. Page 13 is skill constellations. Page 32 are shouts. Page 70 is the inventory, which is great. It's to see what kind of spells you can learn and what they do and what class you have to be to do it. Main quest is page 117. Companions 157. College of Winterhold quest starts on 170. 196 is the Thieves Guild. 232 is the Dark Brotherhood, and then Civil War quests. I think I forgot to mark down a page number there. Daedric quest 293, side quest 339.
Yeah, and those are all for things that, yes, even though you don't have the guide, that would, you could still get all these quests and everything like that. Why we're suggesting the guide is because this is a 300+ hour game. I mean, if you're like me and Josh that want to have as much, unlock as much as we possibly can in a game, this is you have to get the guide. I would highly suggest it. So is there anything else you want to add to this, Josh?
Not some. Well, I mean, you got the map. If you get the guide, it does come with a map, and that map is separated by numbers. You'll see it, and in the back of the book, you can actually go through, and it's up to number 9, but it's like 9.27, 9.28 for different dungeons in the area. So it kind of separates it. That's kind of a little hard to get the hold of. But once you get the hold of it, it's great because you just find it on the map. You find out what number it is, and you can go look what's in that dungeon in the guide.
Exactly.
Page 632 is the appendices. That's great for looking up things that have to do with anything. Inventory, special weapons, anything like that. That's a great little guide. Want to go into graphics?
Graphics are just amazing in this game. We loved it every minute of it. As we said previously, the mountains there are not just scenery. You can actually climb those mountains and see it. And the graphic is just amazing. This is a whole new engine too for them. So This is just amazing.
Be forewarned though, when you do start off playing the game, from what I had heard of it, I was expecting the graphics to be, I guess, stellar. But they're a little kind of rough at the beginning of the game if you're first viewing it. So don't let that dissuade you from it when you first turn on the game. Don't be disappointed. As you play, you'll be amazed.
Yeah.
The mountains, I cannot stress how amazing the mountains are. I would get people in my family and I would show them just the scenery in the game.
It's honestly amazing.
And you can go anywhere that you see, basically.
Now, with the pros and cons in this game, like the pros, we have listed a whole bunch of them. There's a whole bunch of story to this game. There's, the graphics are just amazing, everything, the different sort of spells and abilities that you can use. It's just endless. It's just an amazing thing, and it's also friendly. You don't have classes in this thing that you can just pick any skills you want, and it's just all around amazing.
You get to make the game, basically.
Now, there is some little things here and there that we found that was very disappointing. A lot of it when the game started off, there was a lot of glitches and everything. They did bring out an update, so that was... From
what I heard from the update, there are some dragons that fly backwards.
Yeah, so
they got to put out another patch for that.
There is some things that, a lot of glitches.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it at all.
There is some I have ran into this game, such as, there was just a dragon, and after I killed him, he actually, flipped right into the ground. So his tail was just wagging in the air. So it's just... There's a few glitches here and there, but nothing massive that would stop us from getting it. And if any massive problems came out, they probably have fixed it. So that's the one thing I would say downgrades this game. So what would you give this, Josh?
Well, taking everything into account, how massive it is, the graphics, I haven't personally run into anything too bad. I did run into one really frustrating part where they randomized an item in a certain guild and you had to go find it. It was a Radiant quest, so it was a very small quest, but it popped up into a random dungeon. And when I went there, all the enemies were level 18 and 20s, and I was a level 8 at the time. So I had to speed through it, and that was one of the most frustrating things I've ever experienced. But that was the only time I experienced something like that. If I had to rate it out of 10, I would probably give it a 9.8.
I would agree with that, because even though there was some glitches in the game, it's just the broad span of it and just the amazingness of all the stuff that's in it and everything that's open to you and how friendly it is to people who haven't played RPGs. It
is one of the greatest games of the year.
Yeah.
If not the past couple years. And you can't say that because there's a lot of different games out. And I mean, you can't compare a shooter to this kind of game.
In our opinion, of course,
But this is a game that will not be forgotten anytime soon.
Oh yeah.
You'll be playing it for the years to come. So it's definitely a classic right off the bat.
Yep.
And you probably haven't seen anything like it. especially just a single player, especially a console game.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
not on PC, so it's great. I would highly recommend picking it up. Don't rent it. If you're gonna rent it, it's a waste of time and a waste of money. It is a straight buy.
Yeah. So 9.8 all around. Anything else you want to add to it?
No, thanks for stopping in. Ninja Gaming Reviews.
All right. See you later, guys.